My name is Hannah, the Happy Ever After coach. As the Happy Ever After coach, I work with unhappy and unhealthy people. You might think happiness is overrated. So what that I'm unhappy? Everybody is unhappy. I might as well join the club. In the rest of this presentation, I want to share with you what will happen if you do not take care of your happiness. What does unhappy mean? It could be that you're stuck in traffic. It could be that you don't like certain things at work. It could be that you have a fight with somebody that you care about. Now let's do a little bit of maths, super simple maths around that subject. So we're going to now measure the effects of being unhappy. And remember, that could be caused by the traffic, the difficult people at work, the fights that you can have, or financial worries. Now, imagine you're seeing yourself as a happy person, and let's say you're unhappy 1 hour a day and maybe 5 days a week. That's 5 hours a week that you're unhappy. So what? Yeah, it's not a big deal. But most people are unhappier a lot more. And especially what happens if you had a traumatic experience, something that really shocked you. You could have a fight with a really important person in your life. You could have that health scare. You could have a bully at work. Now, this issue is consuming you. It is milling in your head for maybe 10 hours a day. And not only 5 days a week, it could be 7 days a week. That is 70 hours of unhappiness. Now imagine that you are awake for 15 hours a day. Now you're looking at 4.5 days of waking hours a week of being unhappy. So what, you might wonder? Well, let's see how that is affecting the energy in your body. We all have a certain amount of energy that we can use during the day. And that energy is called life force. And for easiness sake, we have 10 units of this life force to use every day. Now, when we are happy, we will be using 4 of those units on things like work, play, fun, relaxation. Now that work can be anything from your job to looking after your family, doing the cleaning of your home. All of that is work. The 6 units remaining are used for body management. They are used to run your immune system, for repairs, for digestion. Now, what happens if you are unhappy? Now, 3 of those units could be consumed with your worry, anxiety, and anger. As I said, you could be worrying about that health scare. You could be anxious about things at work. You could be angry with somebody. Something happened maybe 10 years ago. They might be even dead. And you are giving 3 units, 30% of your vital life force to somebody that could be in the grave. You could be giving it to that bully at work. Is that what you want to do? So what? Well, let's see what happens now with the rest of your energy use. You will still use your 4 units for work, but now it's for work, work, and more work. Because you cannot focus, it takes more effort to do your work, and you have now no time for relaxation and fun. It's a grind. And we have 3 units left for that body management. That means that you cannot maintain that immune system, so you're more likely to get sick. And also that essential repair work of tissues and your skin, whatever, cannot happen fully. Our body is a little bit like a building. Can you imagine that the building needs maintenance? The builder arrives on site, the paint is there, the bricks and mortar is there, whatever they need to do the work that they need to do. But half of the workers are not there. That means half of the work is not going to be done, and it's piling up every day, and so they are lagging behind, and certain things are just going to deteriorate. And that is what is happening in our body too. You could have all the right foods that you've eaten and the food supplements that you have taken, and you're using all those expensive creams and whatever to be healthy. But if you do not have the energy to use these things optimally, problems are going to come. And what is going to now happen is that unhappiness is going to turn into being unhealthy. So what? I'll go to the doctor. You go to the doctor, you remove the symptoms, and you're all happy again. But that issue at work is not resolved. And what is going to happen if you're still not dealing with that unhappiness? Guaranteed, you're going to be unhealthy again. What do you think is cheaper and easier? Being unhappy and dealing with that, or dealing with your health problems? What can you do about that unhappiness? It is essential that we start implementing some mental hygiene. That means that we are going to deal with the things that are making us unhappy. And we need to also remove the anger and the frustration from the body and from our mind as well. How can we do that? Coaching or group coaching is a great thing. And the cheapest way to deal with it is using my affirmations, what is a self-help tool, to create that mental hygiene. It is super simple. It takes 2 minutes to start playing these audios. You play them super softly while you're sleeping or while you're going about your day. And it will remove many of those things that are upsetting you and worrying you. And I have seen for many people that health has returned and they are happier and have more energy. So earlier on you said, so what if I'm unhappy? Well, being unhappy is going to turn into being unhealthy. What is cheaper and what is easier? Dealing with that unhappiness or having to deal with those health problems? John is somebody that was very unhappy at work. He was being bullied, he was being degraded, and he would talk to everybody about how unhappy he was at work. But he didn't want to deal with it. Then he started to have major back problems. It was so bad that he needed surgery. While he was still in the ICU, he developed major infections. He had all sorts of complications. And his recovery process was taking long. Eventually, he was allowed to go home, which was doing okay. And now, back problems are back in hospital for another operation in the same area of his back. That is what can happen if you do nothing. Then option number 2 was I had a client that came to me for coaching. He had a rare blood disorder that he probably was going to need a bone marrow transplant. While working with me, we discovered an issue of betrayal that he experienced a number of years ago. And even though the betrayal was sort of sorted, there were still trust issues going on. We resolved all of it. He was feeling great, but he still needed his bone marrow transplant. What happened then was that the doctors were amazed at the speed of his recovery. It was like half the time, if not less. My third story is about Major Jooste. She came to me because she had major allergies and she also had health problems. She had been using strong medication for 18 years to deal with her allergies. We put her on the affirmations, and within 2 weeks, she was already feeling so much better that she didn't really need the allergy medication anymore. Then we continued with the coaching. We discovered major problems with the periods, and you can read more about that story on the carefreeperiods.com website. Anyway, we did a little bit of coaching around that and again put her on the affirmations, and all of her period problems disappeared. And the gynecologist that had been working with her, that had been unable to really help her, he was amazed how good she looked on the outside, but also on the inside. In conclusion, unhappiness matters. It will result into health problems. Deal with the unhappiness while it's small. I always say, fight a dragon while it's small. It's so much easier. And I can help you deal with that dragon.